So, greetings everyone. Today we are going to discuss a topic and from a thermodynamics, and the name of that particular topic is the third law of thermodynamics. Now, in previous year of your graduation, you have, I think, might have studied this particular topic, and even if you didn't have a idea on this particular topic, then don't be worried. We shall discuss it thoroughly within this video. Okay, so without wasting any further more time, let us try to read the statement of the third law. And this is perhaps the most easiest way to memorize the particular statement. Now in different books you may found a different statement, and even if you are studying from some sort of online site like a Camtext or Wikipedia or any other online books and PDF which are open source, right? Then from material to material, the statement may be varied, and that is the reason why I have specifically integrated and try to compress the main essence of the third law, and that can be memorized, and it is very easy to recall as well. And that statement is, at absolute zero temperature the entropy of a perfectly crystalline substance is zero. Okay, and we have already seen, and all of us are aware that practically we cannot achieve absolute zero. So what is absolute zero? Absolute zero is nothing but your temperature in Kelvin scale, right? Why there was a need of Kelvin scale, and why this particular scale was derived, and why there was a need of absolute temperature, that is another topic. And I think during your UG level you might have studied as well. And even if you haven't studied that topic, then you can comment me on this link of YouTube, and we will make a video on that particular temperature scale. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. See, this is another version of the statement. Okay, in this slide the statement is slightly varied. Okay, and in this statement we have written that the entropy of a true equilibrium state of a system at temperature zero or at absolute temperature is nothing but zero. Okay, however, this thing can exist only if we have achieved ground state which is non-degenerate. Okay, so unless and until you have idea regarding quantum mechanics or quantum physics, what is degeneracy? Okay, it is just like a concept which is similar to the topic of symmetry. Okay, so if you try to, if I'll go to discuss a topic regarding a generacy and non-degeneracy level, then this video will become a more than 2 or 3 hours. Okay, so that is the reason why I shall restrict myself to the particular topic only. But if you have slightest query or doubt, then you know the trick. You just need to make some comment, and your query will be entertained at earliest convenience. Okay, so however, even if at 0 Kelvin the value of entropy actually is not becoming zero, mind well, but it is so small that the value of entropy could be taken as a constant. Okay, and the another alternative version of the same law is, it is impossible to reduce the temperature of a system to absolute zero. Okay, that is your T is equal to 0 K, by utilizing a finite number of thermodynamic cycle. Okay, so as we all are knowing the fact that even if we want to reduce a temperature of our room, say for example, then we need to install some sort of AC or a ducting system or etc etc, right? But if you are experimenting with a cryogenic temperature, then you need to lower a temperature in some sort of cyclic way or in some sort of a step by step way, right? Because what happen with the simple AC room is, if one person is simply opening the door, then there will be considerable amount of temperature change in that particular room, and that is not advisable if we are dealing with a cryogenic temperature. It is also not advisable because our body is not designed to tolerate such a large amount of temperature change. So if you are dealing with such a low temperature, then even if hi-fi laboratories like NASA and other laboratories of UK are following the same protocol, that there are, you can say, you can imagine for the sake of simplicity, there are a more number of rooms, and from each room to room, when we are simply opening a room, then temperature is lowering up to 5 to 10 degree, then you need to pass on to another level, and in that particular room temperature is furthermore decreased. And at the end of your laboratory, or at your laboratory, you shall have a couple of more, you can say, the instrumentation in which there are some sort of thermodynamic engine, or you can say heat exchanger are installed, so that there is a cycle. uh, your heat exchanger, your AC is nothing but a thermodynamic cyclic device, right? Mind well. So if you want to achieve 0 Kelvin, then you need to install endless number of thermodynamic cycle, which is practically not possible, and that is the reason why we cannot achieve 0 Kelvin practically. Okay. Oh, these are just gimmick, and I'm skipping the slide. Okay, so what is perfect crystal? I think you, all of you have studied a solid state, which is a chapter of your, I think, 11 or 12th chemistry. Okay, so in that portion also, see, if you have followed your textbook properly, then you might have heard that each and every crystal is either suffering from Schottky defect or suffering from Frankel defect, right? Okay, so practically there is no existence of a perfect crystal, and that is the second limitation of third law. First limitation is practically zero temperature, or you can say absolute zero temperature cannot be achieved. Secondly, there is no existence of a perfect crystal. Each and every crystal is suffering from either Schottky or Franklin or some sort of another metallic, non-metallic defect. Okay, so that is, there are basically two major loophole in the statement of the third law itself, right? And that is another reason why there is no still experimental proof. Okay, so however, let us get back to the design of perfect crystal, and you can imagine the level of symmetry. See, each space or each atom is sitting at their design space, okay, specific space, and see the design of actual crystal. So when we are basically increasing the temperature, then from the geometrical perspective, we can say that there is a deformation, or you can say the degeneracy occurs. Okay, so there would be change in symmetry. Okay, so that is the reason why there is no existence of a perfect crystal. However, if we try to focus on the exact value of entropy, not change in entropy, but even if we try to find out the exact value of entropy itself, then from statistical mechanics, we have been familiar with the equation that S is approximately equal to kb ln omega. Now here kb is your Boltzmann constant, and omega, or you can say omega of E, that is the number of microstate at your applied energy, or the at your specific level of energy. Okay, and from in order to define entropy, let us take example of an ideal gas, right? So when we are opening the valve, immediately we observe some sort of equilibrium, but the reversal of this particular process is not happening by itself. Okay, and now let us focus on the arrangement of the smallest particle. See, for sake of simplicity, we have simply shortlisted a system which is only having four atoms or particles. Okay, so there are basically three arrangement, popular three arrangement, uh, listed in the particular slide. Okay, and arrangement 3, I think it's a more favorable because it's representing an equilibrium state. Okay, and as you can see, this is what really happening when we are opening the valve, right? System will try to gain a mechanical equilibrium at the end of this transferring process. Okay, so now let us focus on spontaneous reaction. Okay, see, in this particular example, we are observing a process of a melting of ice. Okay, so melting of ice is spontaneous at temperature higher than 0 Celsius. Okay, and for the freezing of the same ice, or freezing of the water I should say, it will be spontaneous when we have achieved, or we have established a temperature which should be lower than 0 centigrade itself. Okay, then and then the reversal of the process will become spontaneous. Okay, okay, and that is what written over here. Now see the structure of ice and water. This is the atomic arrangement in ice and water, and it is very clear. You can immediately visualize that there is some sort of order of symmetry in the structure of ice, while you can observe a higher level of a disorder in the atomic arrangement of water itself. Okay, or the molecular arrangement of water itself, I should say. Okay, and that is the reason that the melting of ice will increase. See, delta S is greater than 0 means there would be some sort of increase in the this melting process, during this melting process. Okay, and as we have seen, when we are try to increase the temperature, basically we are disturbing the geometrical structure of the crystal itself. Okay, so here is a comparative study from state wise arrangement. See, if we are having a solid system, then you can see there is a higher value of a symmetry in the arrangement of molecular or atomic or ion whatsoever you may have. In liquid, there is a comparatively higher level of anarchy, and in gaseous phase it is a maximum level of entropy or disorder or anarchy, whatever you may say. Okay, so In solid, the level of entropy would be minimum. In liquid, the level of entropy would be moderate, and in gaseous phase, the level of entropy, or I should say, the value of entropy, will become maximum. Okay, so here are some example, and you are supposed to predict the entropy change. And as you can see, the freezing means it will be converting liquid to solid phase. See, you simply need to focus on phase only. Okay, don't be worried by whatsoever may written in the example. You are simply need to focus. Freezing means solid phase and liquid means your liquid phase. So basically there is a transformation from liquid to solid, and that is the reason why the level of entropy or the value of entropy will be decreased. See, evaporating means will be a transportation from liquid to gas, and in that particular process, as we have already seen, gas is having maximum number of maximum value of entropy, and in this case overall entropy will be increasing. And now let us take a third example: dissolving a sucrose in water. See, sucrose is having a solid phase, and when we dissolve it into the water, it will eventually gain a liquid phase. Okay, because it will be diluted in the solution, and there is a entropy increasing process, right? And say cooling of N2 from 80 to 20. So basically we are lowering the temperature, we are absorbing the heat from a gaseous system, and as we have already seen that entropy is temperature, highly temperature dependent. If we lowering the temperature, the value of entropy will be decreased. Okay, and that is what written over here. Okay, so in third law of thermodynamics, in first slide we have written that can absolute zero can practically be achieved, or can we obtain the absolute zero temperature? Okay, so the answer is still no. And why we cannot practically achieve absolute zero? The logical explanation is already written in this particular slide. Okay, so as I have already discussed that practically it is required endless number of heat exchanger unit in order to achieve your 0 Kelvin temperature. Okay, so what were the implementation or implication of this particular third law? See, the researcher of MIT, okay, have achieved practically 450 picokelvin. Pico means 10 raised to minus 15. Okay, in 2003 they have recorded with their sophisticated instrument of maximum lowering temperature, which was practically achieved first time on our earth, and that was having a value of 450 picokelvin. Okay, however molecules who are at this particular temperature or near to this particular temperature have been called as fifth state of matter. See, solid, liquid and gas are three. Okay, plasma is your fourth state. And what is your fifth state of matter? It is called as Be particle or Bose-Einstein condensation. Okay, or Bose-Einstein condensates if you are dealing with a set of particle, and that is the reason why it is called as Be condensates. So that is the fifth state of matter. Why it is called as fifth state of matter? Just like plasma is called fourth state of matter, there were new laws, there were new observation regarding temperature change, current change, and all the physicochemical parameter. Plasma is not following any solid, liquid or gaseous laws. Okay, so far as physical chemistry or so far as material science is concerned, and just like that, particle who have achieved such a lower temperature are also not following any laws from the previously discussed fourth matter. Okay, and that is the reason why we have called it a Bose-Einstein condensates. Okay, because based on the principle of Bose-Einstein's distribution statistic, they have achieved this temperature, and that is the reason why they have given them credit as BE condensates. Okay, so what is practically we can achieve if we able to establish this sort of temperature in our laboratory. So see, the application part is very very interesting for researchers around the globe. Okay, there will be highest amount of fluidity, highest amount of conductivity which can happening at this particular temperature. However, scientists have condensed the hydrogen gas itself, and they have observed that hydrogen solid or hydrogen in its metallic state is capable enough to yielding a new level of a circuit design, a new level of current design circuit, and they have endless number of application. Okay, so this particular portion is basically for the researcher itself. Now you not need to be worried on this scale. Okay, and Nernst theorem, I have already made a video on it and how it's correlate with third law of thermodynamics itself. See, the third law of thermodynamics basically is derived from Nernst theorem itself. And what is the correlation? What is the other governing factor? How we can measure the absolute entropy, or how we can calculate entropy change? Okay, we shall discuss it on later on, and we shall make a one more video based upon this particular topic. Okay guys, thank you so much.